Welcome back to the Relaxing Ghost channel here on YouTube. Today we have the 2016 Hall of Fame class recap and review. Gonna try to bang a couple of these out here and keep the ball rolling with the Hall of Fame reviews. Still got our Attitude review series coming up, as well as the In Your House review series in the books. So 2016, as you know, a part of WrestleMania 32, the biggest WrestleMania attendance of all time, disputed. So we're now into the network era of these Hall of Fame ceremonies. I gotta say, I felt kind of ripped in 2009 and 10, and even into some of those earlier Hall of Fame classes. But looking, into the network era, some of these just come across way too long. This might be one of those shows. But not bad overall, I'd say. This is actually a pretty solid Hall of Fame class. We got The Godfather, Jacqueline, Stan Hansen. This would be the first year for the Legacy Hall of Fame inductees. They created this wing entirely for, stars of the past that would probably likely never get a Hall of Fame induction spot. Let's be honest here. So this was really cool to see. We had the fabulous Freebirds, the Big Boss Man, Snoop Dogg, Joan London, and Sting. So really stacked up there towards the end. And on the Blu-ray here, the Hall of Fame class goes 3 hours, 36 minutes. So not a bad length overall. Was a bit shorter than the year prior by 30 minutes, which I think helped quite a bit. I think, there's a real sweet spot there in the 3 to 4 hour range. 2017 is going to be, a bit fun to go back and watch as well. So, The Godfather comes out. It seemed like they kind of stuck to this really great star in the first slot here. We had Godfather here, Rikishi the year prior. So this was cool to see. And then Jacqueline, another solid inductee. Yeah, and we got APA, and then the Dudley Boys making appearances. Stan Hansen and Vader. Man, looking back at this, I really wish they would have gave that spot to Vader. Knowing he would pass away just a couple of years after this. He made it public that he hadn't been in the greatest health, and his doctors literally gave him about 2 years to live. So it was always cool seeing Vader. I really wish he would have got that Hall of Fame spot that night. But Stan Hansen was a big part of All Japan and whatnot, and New Japan, and even part of the WWF way back in the day. They talk about his fights there with Bruiser Brody and Baba, of course, Inoki, and then Vader poking his eye out there, and Vader puts on the googly-eyed glasses. Little touches like that. I'm gonna do a complete separate video for the Legacy Wing inductees. They didn't never really got much time. They just kind of showed graphics and whatnot. The fabulous Freebirds. People have told Michael Hayes, look, when they were in Dallas the first time for WrestleMania 25, that was 7 years prior to this. I think Triple H told him, look, man, you'll get your time eventually. We're going back to Texas. Because I think they were going to do it the year prior. And then they're like, we're going to Texas next year, so here's your shot. Fabulous Freebirds. This is one of my all-time favorite induction speeches between Jimmy Garvin out there and Michael Hayes. You got Terry Gordy Jr. and Buddy Roberts kids out there. So that was cool to see. Of course, Kevin Von Erich, part of the ongoing rivalry with the Freebirds. He makes an appearance. So they kind of tied the whole thing back to WrestleMania 25 with the Freebirds and the Von Erichs and, reuniting here in Texas. So this was a fun speech. I could do without Michael Hayes singing that towards the end of the ceremony there, but overall, really solid. The Big Boss Man. This was really long overdue. Ray Traylor, one of the greatest big men of all time. Seeing him go in here with, I believe it was his wife and his two daughters. Maybe mistaken about that, but they did him a good justice here. Justice was served for the Big Boss Man. It's always fun seeing Slick. They brought out the nightstick. Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg really didn't again do much in WWE. He was the host of Raw. He made several WrestleMania appearances. He's the cousin or something like that of Sasha Banks. So, his speech was quick and to the point and thanked everybody. So it's always cool seeing Snoop Dogg, one of the all-time greatest rappers of all time. Joan London was the second recipient of the Warrior Award. Again, not the biggest fan of Dana Warrior and whatnot. So she kind of gave the same speech she gave the year prior, and we're all warriors and whatnot. And yeah, I could do without that. Joan London, solid speech. It seemed like Dana Warrior thought this was all built around her. And it was weird because we didn't get an official inductee for the Warrior Award in 2020. I'm wondering if her deal is done. Because what I think happened there is Ultimate Warrior was signed on for an ambassador contract or whatever that was scheduled for. So maybe he was going to be the spokesman for the Warrior Award. If that was true. Dana Warrior is working with the creative side of the women's roster. Maybe that's why it's been so awful lately. But yeah, Joan London, cancer survivor, really, really cool story. She's been in the media for, several years. And then Sting, the icon, the franchise of WCW. This was really cool to see Sting here, Texas boy. And I think he's actually from Cali, but relocated to Texas. Sting, one of the biggest stars of all time. And he officially retires here at the Hall of Fame class. But one thing's for sure, nothing's for sure. So I always thought we would have got one more Sting match with The Undertaker or something crazy like that. But yeah, Sting kind of stuck to his guns. He's probably going to end up hanging him up here. And I would say this is a pretty solid Hall of Fame class. I'd rate this slightly higher than last year's. I'm going to give this one a C+. Well, for the most part, it was entertaining. It's not up there with one of my favorites. But I don't think it's as good as 2009's, which I think I gave a B-. So C+ here for the 2016 Hall of Fame class. Let me know your thoughts on this, guys. What do you think about Sting? Is he going to stay retired? I honestly love seeing Vader here. Big Boss Man going in and the Godfather. We were missing that tag team here, but we did get the Fabulous Freebirds, which kind of, was one of the favorites of the night. So let me know your thoughts. As always, we'll talk to you later. Peace.